The air in Sable Ridge was heavy with a sort of quiet that precedes storms. Not rainstorms, but storms of revelation. When the Black Hawk flew in, its rotors cutting the air like fate itself, the earth started to shake subtly, not only due to the power of the machine, but because of the gravity of what was happening. Captain Jackson Reeves stood alongside Valor, the war dog who had once been Axel, and knelt to attach a tattered green patch, VLR-29, to the shepherd's collar. It was not just fabric, it was a name, a vow, a bridge to the past they had endured as one. Grown strangers around them, who had once peeked from behind curtains or guarded glances, now emerged in quiet reverence. This was no longer a stranger in uniform. This was a man who had come full circle, and the dog by his side wasn't merely a veteran's companion, he was legend incarnate. Marshal Greg Tuller, usually bureaucratic witness, emerged from the diner and passed Jackson a roast beef on rye sandwich, his voice low. "Don't let them forget what happened here." Jackson accepted it with a nod, his grime-stained fingers, his heart much more burdened than the box. Then there was Tanya Gleason, K-9 officer, shaken to the core. She extended a worn canvas chew toy, faith in crooked embroidery, Valor's first favorite from the training days. "He always preferred this over treats," she stated, her voice strained with emotion. Jackson took it quietly, knowing what it meant for her to release it. No sooner did he than a cry pierced the air. Panicked, winded. Eli Vance, resident oddball and tow truck operator, stumbled out of the churning dust, phone alight in his hand. "You gotta see this," he panted. The video went viral. The instant Valor identified Jackson, posted to the internet and spreading like wildfire. "They're calling him the Desert Guardian," Eli filled in. Jackson didn't blink. "Then it's easy," he said. "He's not a weapon any longer. He's a symbol." The crowd agreed in a low rumble. Even Maynard Cross, who rode high in his saddle and followed protocol to the letter, recognized the new script. As the helicopter descended, it kicked up waves of dust that tore at their clothes and the air was filled with grit. Finn Bradford, the young boy who had initially extended his hand to Jackson and Valor, moved forward. His mother, June, stood immobile, her eyes full of something between awe and terror. "Can I say goodbye?" Finn asked, and when June nodded, he sprinted to Valor and knelt. "I'll take care of the bench for you," he said softly, "so you'll have somewhere to come back to." Jackson smiled, rare and real, and gave the boy a crisp salute. Valor nudged Finn's cheek gently, his own farewell. The crowd began to part, not from instruction but instinct, as Jackson and Valor walked toward the open side hatch of the Black Hawk. Then something extraordinary happened. As Jackson hesitated before getting into the car, Sarah Connolly, the store owner who had once greeted him warily, emerged and handed him a folded towel. "For the ride," she said matter-of-factly. Behind her, Clary Henshaw, elderly and stooped but still fiery, pounded his cane on the ground. "You boys want procedure?" he growled at the federal men. That dog had earned retirement, not redeployment. There was silence. Even Tanya chimed in softly. "He exhibited signs, we just didn't label it as it was." Maynard did not say anything, but his expression changed. Sable Ridge residents had cast their line. This was no longer about forms and fill in the blanks. This was right and wrong. As Jackson got into the chopper, the crew handed him earplugs. He waved them off. He had to listen for it all, the hum of rotors, the wind rasping along rooftops, the desert itself murmuring its grudging farewell. And then the helicopter lifted. Sable Ridge dwindled beneath them, a blight in the sand now mending. In the aftermath, a plaque materialized beside the weathered bench, paid for by the townspeople and inscribed by Sarah herself. It said, "To those who serve and those who wait, seen or unseen, welcome home." Below it stood the silhouette of a soldier and his dog standing forever in silent tribute. This tale did not end with launch. It continued on forwarded videos, in news stories, in hushed conversation in diners throughout the nation. Veterans who felt they had been forgotten looked at Jackson and saw themselves. Children wrote letters to Valor. Donations came to K-9 units and veteran organizations. And somewhere in a sky heavy with memory, Captain Reeves sat with his dog, not as a man bearing wounds, but as one bearing meaning. Not all wars end in gunfire, undefined. Some end in towns like Sable Ridge, with dust, silence, a child's promise, and the sound of a dog remembering who he was always meant to find.